Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. So what were probably a few indulgent but well-deserved days over Christmas, you might be starting to feel that in your bank balance. And you might also be starting to look towards the new year and get excited about mastering your finances in 2021. So if that sounds about right, this is going to be the video for you. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how to master your finances and build your wealth in 2021. So let's get started. So I've put together a selection of steps that you can do to excel your journey to financial freedom in 2021. And these are all steps that I personally use in my day-to-day life and to help me on my journey to financial freedom. So the first step you're going to want to do is calculate your FIRE number. FIRE standing for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And to note that the retire early part is totally up to you. Many people decide to continue work when they reach financial independence. So you might be wondering, how do you calculate this number? Interestingly enough, many people actually overestimate what they might need to retire. So it's actually a very simple calculation to get your FIRE number. All you have to do is find out what your annual spending is. So get that number ready. And then simply multiply that number by 25. And there you go, that's your financial independence number. Once you hit this number, you can retire. This calculation is based on the assumption that you would be taking out 4% of your investments annually. And say if your investments are in the stock market, you would be expecting a return of about 6 to 7% on average. So you would see that by withdrawing 4%, your entire portfolio is still growing overall. So you can live off that by withdrawing 4% annually indefinitely. And this is the first step really to mastering your finances in 2021, because you need a goal to aim towards. If you don't know what your number is, you might think you need millions to retire or be financially independent, but that's simply not true. Often it is far less than people expect. So once you have your FIRE number, you can move on to the second step. So once you've calculated your FIRE number, the second step is build an emergency fund. Maybe some of you already have an emergency fund. Well done. If not, then that might be something you want to start looking at in 2021. It is simply a fund that you can fall back on in case of an emergency, whether that's health related, your living situation, or any other number of emergencies where you might need some easily available cash. So experts typically recommend having 2 to 3 months of your monthly expenses saved up. And this should ideally be in an easily accessible place, such as a high interest savings account. That would be great. If you live in the UK, I personally like keeping my emergency fund in premium bonds, as interest rates on savings account are so low at the moment. So what are premium bonds? They're basically a safe lottery where you cannot lose your money. It is a place where you deposit your funds and they are transferred into premium bonds, which are entered into a draw every month where you can win up to £1 million, I think it is. So there's really no downside to this, and it adds a bit of fun to my month. So I would just compare how much you maybe have saved up already and see how much more you might have to save up to build up this emergency fund, because it will just also give you a peace of mind if there's any emergency that might come up. So once you've calculated your FIRE number and your emergency fund amount, it's time to get smart about your spending. Because how quickly you reach your emergency fund amount and your FIRE number is hugely decided by the amount you're able to save. I would argue it's even more important than the amount you earn. Because by lowering your expenses, you're not only able to save more, your FIRE number actually also decreases. So you're able to reach that number even faster. In that way, there's a double benefit by lowering your overall expenses. So I'm not going to tell you don't buy anything ever again, but I'm going to offer you some questions that I ask myself before purchasing anything. And these just help me to make better decisions and make sure that what I'm buying is not impulse buys, but things that actually will bring me happiness and will last a long time. So the questions that I ask myself to spend smarter are, would I hand this down to my children? Meaning, is it going to last and is it of high quality? The next question that I ask myself is, can I use it up to 30 times? So maybe it's an item that you can instead borrow from someone or rent online, and that you might not have to purchase for a much higher price if you're not going to use it very often. There is a calculation of if an item is costing you a lot, but you use it many times, the cost per use goes down, so overall it is worth it. The next question I ask myself is, does this get rid of a negative? Because research has shown that you only really feel a positive benefit in your life if by purchasing something it eliminates a negative that you've been really feeling in your life. So say you have a terrible mattress, for example, and you sleep badly every night, then that's a significant negative in your life. And if you decide to then purchase a better quality, long-lasting mattress, that is really something where you're going to feel a positive benefit and would make a really sound investment. So another tip that I have for you to spend more smartly in 2021 is wait with your purchases. Say you've eyed up something online that you'd like to buy, simply wait a week or maybe even a month if you can wait that long, and then go back to the item and see, do I still want this? Do I still need this? Do I feel the same way about this? And oftentimes when I do this in my life, I'm like, actually, I've not really missed it for the past week or past month, so I'm probably fine not buying it. So overall, if you apply these framework questions to whenever you make a purchase, then that's really going to help you to overall decrease your spending and spend smarter in 2021. And hand in hand with being more smart about your spending is also looking at your savings and assessing how much percent of your income you typically save at the moment, and really maxing that out to as much as possible, because this will directly correlate to when you're able to be financially independent. I would really recommend automating your savings whenever possible, so just automatically goes into your savings account and something you don't have to worry about, and it really makes the likelihood of you saving so much greater. So once you've assessed and continue to assess your expenses, it's time to make your money work for you. So all this saved up money is best placed into somewhere where it's going to work for you. My preferred method is in the stock market, and specifically index funds and ETFs. These days, a lot of these companies actually have very low fees, such as Vanguard, for example, where you're going to really get the most for your money. Index funds specifically are known to be very passive and relatively low risk, because you're effectively taking a slice of a whole range of companies and not investing specifically in individual companies. So in 2021, it might be a good idea to start thinking about investing your money and not have it decrease with inflation, but it actually start to work for you. So if you follow some or maybe all of these steps in 2021, I can almost guarantee that your wealth is going to grow next year. I use all of these tips in my daily life, so I really hope they've been of value to you. And if they have, why not subscribe down below? I would now love to hear, what tip are you going to implement next year? Just comment it below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.